Impact of China's carrier group on ASEAN maritime security contracts, a 30% growth projection by 2027. Introduction. The maritime security landscape in the Asia-Pacific region is undergoing significant transformation, primarily driven by China's expanding naval capabilities. This report delves into the projected 30% growth in the regional maritime security industry by 2027, examining how China's carrier group influences naval defense contracts among ASEAN member states. The analysis synthesizes insights from various sources and provides a comprehensive overview of the current and projected trends in maritime security. 1. Chinese naval expansion. China's commitment to enhancing its naval capabilities, particularly through the development of its aircraft carrier fleet, is reshaping the regional security dynamics. The launch of advanced aircraft carriers signifies a shift not only in China's military posture but also in its strategic ambitions across the Asia-Pacific. This expansion is perceived as a challenge by neighboring nations, prompting them to re-evaluate their own naval strategies. Key developments. The commissioning of new aircraft carriers and associated naval vessels increases China's operational reach and deterrence capabilities. Enhanced naval power allows China to project influence in contested areas, notably the South China Sea, heightening regional tensions. 2. Regional response. In response to China's growing maritime assertiveness, ASEAN member states are compelled to bolster their own maritime security frameworks. Countries like Vietnam, the Philippines, and Indonesia are expected to increase their defense expenditures, significantly prioritizing advanced naval technologies and capabilities. Strategic initiatives. Defense budgets, increased allocations for naval modernization and procurement of advanced systems. Partnerships, strengthen defense relations with external powers including the United States, Japan, and Australia, to enhance collective security measures. 3. Defense contracts. The influence of China's naval power is leading to a surge in defense contracts across the region. ASEAN nations are actively seeking to enhance their maritime capabilities through the acquisition of sophisticated vessel surveillance systems and other critical technologies. Trends in defense procurement. A marked increase in military spending, particularly in naval platforms and technologies. A focus on joint exercises and collaborative defense agreements that enhance interoperability with allied forces. 4. Economic considerations. The burgeoning maritime security industry is not solely a reflection of military imperatives. Economic factors also play a crucial role. The region's heavy reliance on maritime trade routes necessitates investments in maritime infrastructure and safety measures. Economic drivers. The imperative to safeguard vital shipping lanes against piracy and potential military confrontations. Investment in maritime infrastructure, including ports and surveillance systems, to ensure safe trade routes. Timeline of events. Recent years, escalating tensions in the South China Sea driven by territorial disputes and China's assertive naval posture. 2021 to 2023, a notable increase in defense budgets among ASEAN nations with a focus on naval capabilities in maritime domain awareness. 2023, a surge in defense contracts related to maritime security, reflecting both immediate responses to threats and long-term strategic planning. 2024 to 2027, projections indicate sustained growth in the maritime security sector, fueled by ongoing geopolitical tensions and the necessity for enhanced regional cooperation. Common themes. 1. Geopolitical instability. The rise of China as a formidable naval power is a central concern for ASEAN states, influencing their defense strategies and procurement decisions. 2. Collaboration and partnerships. Many ASEAN countries are increasingly recognizing the importance of international partnerships to enhance their maritime capabilities. Fostering a collaborative security environment. Differences between sources. While some analyses emphasize the military implications of China's naval growth, others highlight the economic dimensions of maritime security. This divergence in focus suggests a multifaceted approach to understanding the dynamics of regional stability. Additionally, the level of detail regarding specific ASEAN countries' strategies varies, with some sources providing in-depth analyses while others offer broader overviews. Conclusion: the projected growth of the maritime security industry by 2027 is intrinsically linked to China's naval developments, particularly its carrier group. ASEAN member states are responding to these challenges by enhancing their naval capabilities, which is anticipated to catalyze an increase in defense contracts and strategic collaborations in the coming years. This interplay between military expansion and regional defense procurement will significantly shape the maritime security landscape in Southeast Asia. Emphasizing the need for a cohesive and proactive approach to maritime security strategy among ASEAN nations. The content presents several counterintuitive insights regarding the projected growth of the maritime security industry in the ASEAN region and the influence of China's naval capabilities. Here are some of those counterintuitive points. 1. Economic growth versus military spending. While one might assume that an increase in military spending in response to threats would lead to economic strain, the projected 30% growth in the maritime security industry suggests that countries are finding ways to integrate economic growth with enhanced military capabilities. Instead of being a drain, the maritime security investments could stimulate economic activity by creating jobs and boosting related industries. 2. Collaboration in military enhancements. It may seem logical that countries would act independently to strengthen their military capabilities in response to a common threat like China's naval expansion. However, the emphasis on international partnerships and collaborations among ASEAN members and external powers indicates that countries are choosing to pool resources and knowledge. This collective approach may lead to more efficient spending and enhanced security without escalating tensions further. 3. Defense contracts as economic drivers. One might expect that increasing defense contracts would primarily reflect military needs. However, the content suggests that these contracts are also being driven by economic considerations such as the need to protect maritime trade routes. This duality indicates that defense spending is not solely about military preparedness but is intertwined with economic stability and growth. 4. Focus on non-military aspects. The content highlights a trend where some sources stress the economic implications of maritime security rather than purely military aspects. This suggests a more nuanced understanding of security, where economic interests and military preparedness are not mutually exclusive but rather complementary in promoting regional stability. 5. ASEAN unity against external threats. Typically, one might expect that differing national interests within ASEAN could lead to fragmentation in response to external threats like China's naval expansion. However, the trend towards increased defense collaboration and unified strategic responses indicates a surprising level of cohesion among member states when faced with common challenges. 6. Long-term investments in security. The idea that countries are not just reacting to immediate threats but are also anticipating future needs can be counterintuitive. The projection of growth in the maritime security industry suggests that nations are investing in long-term capabilities rather than merely responding to current crises, reflecting a strategic foresight that may not be immediately visible in day-to-day political discussions. These counterintuitive insights reveal a complex interplay of military and economic factors that shape the maritime security landscape in the ASEAN region, driven largely by the influence of China's naval power. The report on the projected 30% growth in the regional maritime security industry by 2027, influenced significantly by China's carrier group and its implications for naval defense contracts in ASEAN member states, presents several important insights that might be overlooked by many readers. Here are key content areas within the report that merit closer attention and explanation of their significance. 1. Strategic shift in ASEAN defense spending. The report highlights a notable increase in defense budgets among ASEAN countries, specifically aimed at enhancing naval capabilities. This shift is not merely a reaction to China's military expansion but also reflects a broader recognition of the strategic importance of maritime security in maintaining regional stability and protecting economic interests. Significance: this trend indicates a fundamental transformation in how ASEAN states perceive their security landscape. The historical tendency for these nations to rely more on diplomatic means for conflict resolution is being supplanted by a more militarized approach, which could lead to an arms race in the region. The long-term implications of this shift could destabilize the delicate balance of power in Southeast Asia and complicate diplomatic relations with China. 2. Economic dimensions of maritime security. While much emphasis is placed on the military aspects of maritime security, the report also touches on the economic factors driving this growth. The reliance on maritime trade routes for economic prosperity cannot be overstated, as these waters are crucial for the transportation of goods and resources. Significance: the integration of economic considerations into defense planning is critical as it underscores the interdependence of security and economic stability. By investing in maritime security, ASEAN nations are not only addressing military threats but also safeguarding their economic interests. This dual focus can lead to a more comprehensive approach to regional security that balances military preparedness with economic resilience. 3. Nature of defense contracts and technological acquisition. The report notes an increase in defense contracts related to maritime security technologies and capabilities. However, the specifics of these contracts, such as the types of technologies being procured and the partnerships being formed, are often glossed over. Significance: understanding the nature of these contracts is essential for assessing the technological landscape in the region. For instance, if ASEAN countries are prioritizing advanced surveillance systems or anti-access/area denial A2/AD capabilities, it reflects a strategic shift towards asymmetric warfare and deterrence strategies against larger naval powers like China. Furthermore, the choice of partners for these contracts, e.g. the US, Japan, Australia, can indicate shifting alliances and the potential for new geopolitical alignments in the region. 4. Collaborative defense efforts. The importance of collaboration and partnerships among ASEAN nations and with external powers is emphasized. However, the report could delve deeper into the nature and effectiveness of these collaborations, particularly in joint exercises and defense agreements. Significance: the effectiveness of these collaborative efforts will ultimately determine their impact on regional security. If ASEAN countries can successfully integrate their naval strategies and capabilities, they may present a more unified front against external threats. Conversely, if collaboration falters due to differing national interests or capabilities, it could lead to fragmentation and increased vulnerability. The dynamics of these partnerships are likely to evolve in response to changing geopolitical contexts, making it a critical area for further analysis. 5. Geopolitical tensions and their impact on domestic policies. The report identifies geopolitical instability as a driving force behind increased maritime security investments. However, it does not fully explore how these external pressures translate into domestic policies within ASEAN member states. Significance: the domestic political landscape plays a crucial role in shaping defense policies. Leaders may use the narrative of external threats to justify increased military spending, which can have implications for social and economic policies. Understanding the interplay between external pressures and internal political dynamics is essential for predicting future defense strategies and potential shifts in national priorities. 6. Long-term forecast and future implications. While the report provides a forecast for the growth of the maritime security sector up to 2027, it does not address the potential long-term implications of this growth beyond that timeframe. Significance: analyzing long-term trends is vital for understanding how the maritime security landscape might evolve. Will the growth of the maritime security industry lead to a stable equilibrium, or will it exacerbate tensions and lead to conflict? Furthermore, as regional powers like India and Japan increase their engagement in Southeast Asia, the strategic calculus may shift again, necessitating a re-evaluation of existing defense strategies. 7. Influence of non-state actors. The report primarily focuses on state actors and military capabilities. But it overlooks the role of non-state actors in maritime security, including piracy, smuggling, and environmental challenges. Significance: non-state actors pose significant threats to maritime security, which constrain the resources and focus of national navies. Understanding the multifaceted nature of maritime threats, including those from non-state actors, is essential for developing comprehensive security strategies that address all dimensions of maritime security. Conclusion: the projected growth of the maritime security industry in Southeast Asia, largely influenced by China's naval expansion, encompasses a complex interplay of military, economic, and geopolitical factors. The insights provided in the report reflect not only immediate responses to external threats but also deeper strategic shifts within ASEAN countries. By focusing on the overlooked aspects discussed above, stakeholders can gain a more nuanced understanding of the future of maritime security in the region and the implications for both national and regional stability. Here are the 4 most valuable points for in-depth analysis and discussion regarding the projected 30% growth in the regional maritime security industry by 2027 and how China's carrier group influences naval defense contracts in ASEAN member states. 1. Chinese naval expansion and regional dynamics. The expansion of China's naval capabilities, particularly through its aircraft carrier program, has significant implications for regional maritime security. As China seeks to assert its influence in the Asia-Pacific, its growing naval strength serves as both a deterrent and a source of concern for neighboring countries. This dynamic necessitates a re-evaluation of naval strategies among ASEAN member states, driving them to bolster their own naval capacities. An in-depth analysis can explore how this shift impacts regional power balances, the strategic decisions made by ASEAN nations, and the broader implications for international maritime law and sovereignty in contested waters, particularly in the South China Sea. 2. ASEAN member states' response strategies. In response to China's naval expansion, ASEAN member states are compelled to invest more heavily in their maritime security. This investment often translates into increased defense budgets focused on advanced naval technologies and strategic collaborations with external powers. A detailed discussion can examine individual countries' defense strategies, such as Vietnam's acquisition of submarines, the Philippines' modernization efforts, and Indonesia's maritime defense initiatives. It would be beneficial to analyze how these countries prioritize naval investments and the role of regional security collaborations, including joint exercises with the United States, Japan, and Australia, in enhancing their deterrence capabilities. 3. Impact on defense contracts and military procurement. The growing influence of China's military capabilities is evident in the rising defense contracts across the ASEAN region. Countries are increasingly seeking advanced vessel surveillance systems and other maritime security technologies to enhance their naval capabilities. An in-depth analysis could focus on the nature of these defense contracts, the technologies being prioritized, and the economic implications for both ASEAN nations and defense contractors. Additionally, the discussion could explore trends in defense procurement processes, potential shifts towards indigenous defense industries, and the role of foreign military sales in shaping the regional security landscape. 4. Economic considerations in maritime trade security. The growth of the maritime security industry is not merely a response to military threats, it is also driven by critical economic factors. ASEAN nations rely heavily on maritime trade routes, making the protection of these sea lanes vital for their economies. An analysis of the economic implications of maritime security investments can cover how nations are balancing military needs with economic priorities. This includes discussions on infrastructure development, the role of maritime trade in regional economies, and the long-term sustainability of investments in maritime security. Furthermore, it would be valuable to consider how economic partnerships and trade agreements might evolve in response to changing security dynamics. Conclusion. These 4 points provide a comprehensive framework for understanding the multifaceted impact of China's naval expansion on the maritime security landscape in Southeast Asia. By analyzing the interplay between military capabilities, defense procurement, regional responses, and economic considerations, we can gain deeper insights into the future of maritime security in the region. 1. The Cuban Missile Crisis 1962. This pivotal moment in Cold War history showcased the intense geopolitical tensions between the United States and the Soviet Union, particularly concerning military presence and nuclear capabilities. The crisis emerged when the U.S. discovered Soviet nuclear missiles stationed in Cuba, leading to a 13-day confrontation that nearly escalated into nuclear war. The event prompted countries in the Americas and globally to reassess their defense policies and military partnerships. Similar to how ASEAN nations are currently responding to China's naval expansion. 2. The Gulf War 1990 to 1991. The Gulf War marked a significant shift in military strategy and international alliances as Iraq invaded Kuwait. The subsequent coalition formed by the U.S. and various nations underscored the importance of collective security arrangements in response to aggression. The conflict led to increased defense spending and military modernization across the Gulf region, akin to the current trends in ASEAN, where nations are investing in maritime security capabilities in response to external threats. 3. The rise of Nazi Germany and the reoccupation of the Rhineland 1936. The reoccupation of the Rhineland by Nazi Germany was a critical moment that contributed to the onset of World War II. This act of military aggression challenged the post-World War I order and alarmed neighboring countries, leading to shifts in military alliances and defensive postures across Europe. Similar to how ASEAN countries are reacting to China's assertive maritime policies, European nations at the time began to reconsider their defense strategies and alliances in light of increased threats to regional stability. Future outlook. Projected growth of maritime security in ASEAN by 2027. The maritime security landscape in Southeast Asia is poised for significant transformation driven by multiple geopolitical, economic, and technological factors. With a projected growth of 30% in the regional maritime security industry by 2027, this summary outlines the key influences, anticipated developments, and strategic responses from ASEAN member states in light of China's expanding naval capabilities. 1. China's naval expansion and its implications. China's ongoing military modernization, particularly its focus on developing a robust carrier group, is a central factor influencing maritime security dynamics. The increased operational range and strategic capabilities of the Chinese Navy are perceived as direct threats by ASEAN nations. As China asserts its maritime claims, particularly in contested waters like the South China Sea, neighboring countries are compelled to enhance their naval forces to deter potential aggression and secure their maritime interests. 2. ASEAN member states' strategic response. In response to these developments, ASEAN countries are likely to adopt a multifaceted approach. Increased defense budgets. Nations such as Vietnam, the Philippines, and Indonesia are expected to allocate more resources to defense, specifically targeting naval enhancements. This could include building new vessels, upgrading existing fleets, and investing in advanced surveillance and reconnaissance systems. Strengthening alliances. ASEAN members may seek to deepen military cooperation with established powers like the United States, Japan, and Australia. Joint military exercises, training programs, and defense technology transfers will become pivotal in building regional resilience against external threats. Regional security initiatives. Collaborative frameworks such as the ASEAN Defense Ministers Meeting (ADMM) and the ASEAN Regional Forum (ARF) may see revitalized efforts to address maritime security challenges, collectively fostering a unified regional stance against aggression. 3. Focus on advanced maritime technologies. With the geopolitical landscape shifting, the demand for advanced maritime technologies will increase. Key areas of investment may include surveillance and reconnaissance systems to monitor maritime activities and detect potential incursions. Countries will invest in satellite technology, drones, and underwater sensors. Cybersecurity for naval operations. As naval operations become increasingly reliant on technology, ensuring cybersecurity will be paramount to protect sensitive military data and systems from adversarial threats. Logistics and support infrastructure. Enhancements in logistical capabilities, including port facilities and maintenance hubs, will be essential for sustaining naval operations over extended periods. 4. Economic implications of maritime security investments. The maritime security sector's growth will also have significant economic implications for ASEAN member states. Key considerations include maritime trade protection. Given the region's reliance on maritime trade routes, investments in maritime security will safeguard critical shipping lanes, ensuring economic stability and growth. Job creation and technological advancement. The expansion of the maritime security industry is expected to create jobs and stimulate technological advancements in local industries, contributing to broader economic development. Public-private partnerships. Governments may engage with private sector players to innovate and implement maritime security solutions, leveraging commercial expertise to enhance national defense capabilities. 5. Geopolitical stability and future trends. The interactions between ASEAN nations and China, coupled with evolving global power dynamics, will shape the maritime security landscape. Key trends to watch for include increased regional tensions. As ASEAN countries bolster their defenses, the potential for miscalculations and conflicts may rise, particularly in disputed areas like the South China Sea. Shifts in global alliances. The growing influence of China will likely prompt ASEAN countries to reassess their foreign relations, leading to new alliances or strained relations with traditional partners. Focus on non-traditional security threats. Beyond military threats, issues such as piracy, illegal fishing, and environmental degradation will demand a comprehensive approach to maritime security, integrating defense, law enforcement, and environmental protection. Conclusion. The projected growth of the maritime security industry in ASEAN by 2027 is a response to the multifaceted challenges posed by China's naval expansion. As member states enhance their naval capabilities, invest in advanced technologies, and forge strategic partnerships, the region's security landscape will evolve. The interplay between military preparedness, economic imperatives, and geopolitical dynamics will define the future of maritime security in Southeast Asia, shaping the region's stability and prosperity for years to come.